All right, thanks.
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to find Dale the Protestant debate. What's up?
How many questions can I ask?
17.
17?
No,
okay.
I'm joking. That's a joke. How many do you have?
What if science ever
How many
contradicts something that is written?
Okay.
Hello?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What if science ever contradicts something that is written in the Bible or the teachings of the church? I mean, let's say an alien species ever appears. Like, what would be the position of the Orthodox Church?
We would go with
your position.
We would go with the aliens. We would be sola alien.
I'm not joking. That would be the position?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You wouldn't say it's demons or
no, we would immediately capitulate and we would believe in the infallibility of a new alien papacy.
Okay. What about chimeras? If humans were able to create a chimera that can speak, that can talk.
I mean, you're talking about like Kit? Because I mean, a lot of boomers had Camaros, but really Kit is the only Camaro-ish car I've ever seen that actually talks from Knight Rider.
Like, what would be the position? Would you say it's a human? Would you say it's...
I mean, I would say it's totally boomer. I mean, if you want to drive a Camaro around that talks, I mean, you can, but like you're full on boomer. Yeah, I know a Camaro, right? Like Kit, like David Hasselhoff. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Who's next? Is Kit a Camaro? That's the next question. Is Kit actually a Camaro? Whoa.
I have a question. Okay. I have a lot of mental issues, and as I see, I watch a lot of like media and stuff to keep me away from sinning. I'm just wondering if that's a good or bad thing. Like if like video games and movies are keeping me away from sinning, or demons are...
I guess it depends on what movies and video games you're playing, so I don't know, man. I would say try to find a spiritual father for, that kind of stuff. But who's next?
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question.
Okay.
Okay. I was wondering if you felt that compared to other Christian denominations, that Orthodoxy and Eastern Orthodoxy in particular was less likely to experience cultism.
You mean to be cult-like, like people acting like gurus and cult leaders?
Yes.
I mean, that can happen anywhere, but yeah, I think it's less likely because generally speaking, the Holy Spirit is in the Orthodox Church. So, but there have been schismatics and groups that become very cult-like. There have been monasteries, monastics who have been cult-like and have abused people. So it's still possible because humans are humans everywhere you go. I would say that I've met less guru cult-like attitudes in the Orthodox world than I've seen anywhere else.
Thank you.
Sure, good question. I'm about to upload. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to ask. I think one of the things that I feel like I'm cradle Orthodox, and one of the things that like I've realized, like coming to America, it's like a lot of things. Like when people convert to Orthodoxy, it's like it kind of becomes like a club, right? Like, I'm not sure what your opinion is this, but like when people take their saint's name, right? They use that like only when they go to the Orthodox Church. When you go to the Orthodox Church, okay, I'm now Seraphim, but like outside Orthodox Church, I'm John. It's like kind of feels to me like a double personality. Do you have any opinion on that? Like, should you always say like I'm Seraphim? Or
no, I don't think it's a double personality because you're still who you are from your parents. You still have a life in this world, and we don't live in an Orthodox culture. So, no, I think that's part of the reason why you have that name in our world is that it is kind of a club. It's the club as it is the church. So, but no, I don't see a problem with that. I mean, there you can have churches that are wealthy and develop club-like clique attitudes. And if you read the rebukes to the 7 churches in Asia Minor, right, one of the churches was that way when they get rebuked for being wealthy and snobbish and, cold.
Well, one of I guess the reason why I'm saying this, right, because like your previous life was a dead life, like you are now a new person. So like your old name is a dead name. So that's why, I mean, like maybe
It's not a dead. We're not trans people. It's not a dead name. I don't.
Yeah, okay. That's a valid.
Okay, well, I just disagree, dude.
Like, that's
so
just something that, like, I have in my
if you
mind.
want, yeah, I just disagree. But you got to live in this world still.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Good questions. Well, who's next?
Hello?
Hello.
Jake?
No.
So we've seen each other before. I attended one of your lectures live here in Florida. My wife and I were both there.
Okay.
Just wanted to make reference to that. But I have a funny story for you. I haven't really thought out of how I'm going to say it because it's quite long, but I'm going to try to make it short as I can. So we've been attending this parish in Kissimmee, which later moved to Orlando. And I've always had a relationship with my priest, and the parish in general I had no issues with. The parish was very neutral and everything, just like you think of what an average parish would look like. But every time I would bring up any topic that had to do with theology, reading a book, or Jay Dyer, for example, it seems like the priest was obsessed with getting people off of the internet. And he would either bring that up in the most direct way, but never actually talking about you or any particular figure. And he would always bring up babushkas for some really awkward reason. Like, the point that he was trying to make is that every time that you mentioned some theological topic that you wanted to talk about, or maybe bring up something that you saw on YouTube by some Orthodox figure, he would try to shut that down in a sort of passive-aggressive way. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint what exactly is being done that sounded so shady, but the atmosphere was always just so against, or I guess what you call Orthobros and internet orthodoxy, and that always felt wrong to me. So it's an OCA parish, and I decided to search because even though the men sounded very passive-aggressive all the time, I just could sense that there was sort of narrative that
they're told from their bishops from the top down to
right.
not have anything to do with me.
Right, so it's hard to communicate this stuff because they never communicate what they're trying to pose in a direct way. You can just feel that there's something wrong every time you bring some term up or some word you shouldn't use. The atmosphere just shifts, and there's like this attempt to change the mood. They're very. I have to be bold to say it is like if there's
we've had a lot of people leave OCA churches in Florida and come to our church precisely because of this kind of stuff. So,
right. I mean, the only way that I can communicate it more properly is by being more bold. If there's one thing liberals love to say is that they are not trying to speak about politics when they are.
Of course.
It's very interesting.
I mean, the OCA church in Jacksonville like openly communes open Skittles couples, so like they don't care. So that's what's going on. That's the root of it's that kind of stuff, right? But then they act like, oh, the greatest thing, the most serious concern is young men becoming Orthodox. No, it's not gay bishops. It's not that kind of stuff. It's not trans stuff. It's Ortho bros.
Right.
Look, it's really simple, okay? There's powerful people and powerful entities and foundations that put a lot of money into changing the attitudes of all the churches, including the Orthodox Church and its jurisdictions. So what is their problem person? Well, it's people that convert young straight men. They want to take the Orthodox Church into eventually being another type of Protestant liberal Episcopal church that accepts all the gay stuff. It's that simple. It's like it's not rocket. I'm not saying you're saying this, but like, whoa, what's happening? Whoa. What do you think it is? It's the same stuff that happened to the Protestant Church and the Roman Catholic Church.
Right. I mean, for the sake of metaphor, I'm not trying to call anyone a devil, but the devil never shows up to you with his horns out, right? So there's always this sort of weaselly way in trying to get you to think in a different way that's usually just censoring what you do want to say.
Right.
But to make a very long story short, I decided to search about the OCA because it got to the point where everything that was the way that things were handled in private conversation, the priest was always so weaselly, and the way that the chat was moderated was that's another story too. So I decided to search about OCA and what you had to say about that. Just out of curiosity, and turns out that you actually engaged that priest directly twice. His name is Father David Galloway, and I just to me,
yeah, he's the priest that was charging people for prayers on his Patreon. So
right,
that tells you what kind of people you're dealing with.
Right, it was really hard. Like it was really, it was painful for me because I've been engaging with that man and accepting his spiritual guidance for a year and a half.
I understand.
And not once have I been told that he had engagements with you, that like he publicly went out defending ecumenism. And I went on his Twitter page and, I had a direct conversation with him before all of this. And I told him, look, Father, if there's one thing that I just don't accept is people using the term Orthobro as an euphemism because it's like they're not aware that the ones dividing the church is them.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, he's the one that gave public lectures, private lectures to all the priests 5 years ago, saying,
right,
avoid me at all costs. And then when that came out, it was a huge deal. And then everybody said that I was bad because I called him out for privately telling all the priests to avoid me. But the reason he does that is because he's told to do that by people like Bishop Golitz and other people in the OCA. So it's not all the OCA. It's just like certain bishops that are super ecumenist. I mean, Bishop Galitzin believes Origen is a saint. So like, if people can't figure that out, like Origen's not a saint, man. If you think he's a saint, like you're not Orthodox. It's that simple.